A brand new show that just dropped. While the presenters play dominoes, a special guest will be discussing all topics that matter to you. Everything from judicial, legal, health, wealth. Nothing is off topic. The name, you ask me? Domino Effect. Domino Effect. Come listen. It's time well spent. So, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Wherever you are, welcome to the Domino Effect Show, the show that you need to be watching. On my right, I have Sweet Will. On my left, I have our special guest, and then I have Eves. So, tonight we have a special show for you. We are going to be talking about nursing education. And to do that, we need two special guests, myself, Nurse Pat, and Nurse Cassie, who's here with us. So just to give you some background, Nurse Cassie has been in nursing for over, is it your turn, Nurse Cassie? Yeah, it's your turn.
It's my turn.
You can either do a 6 or a 3. So in terms of nursing education that we're going to talk about, Nurse Cassie has been a nurse for over 14 years, and most recently, Nurse Cassie is a practicing nurse practitioner.
Wow!
At one of the biggest hospitals that we have in Massachusetts. Nurse Cassie, I believe it's your turn. So. And when we talk about nursing education, a lot of people get confused because they think there are certain certified nursing assistants, which are CNAs, that call themselves nurses. In a way, they're not wrong, but they're wrong because they're certified nursing assistants. So when we talk about nursing in terms of nursing educations, you have your LPNs, you have your RNs who have an ADN degree, and you have RNs that have a BSN. You also have your advanced degree nurse practitioners, and you also have, so it's your turn, you also have DNPs, which are the doctorate in nursing practice. Okay.
I told you guys I'm going to win.
Oh, you're going to win? Okay.
Oh, back too early.
Why you almost call Uno for her?
We're playing dominoes.
Yo.
This is not Uno. This is not Uno.
I saw her have one. I'm like, wait, Uno. I'm like, what the?
You were looking hard over here.
So when we're talking about the certified nursing assistants, because I went to school to be a certified nursing assistant, I can speak a little bit about this. It's your turn. If you have nothing, you would pass.
Pass.
So I win. Thank you very much. You told me to win.
I told you one of us has to do it.
Sis. I got you.
One of us has to do it.
I would
So, when we talk about certified nursing assistants, they go to a training program where they learn to assist the nurse with care, because as nurses, we delegate. Right. When they assist with care, it could be the activities of daily livings, which are the ADLs. It could be helping somebody walking to the bathroom, walking a patient. There's a lot that they do. They take vital signs for us. So they're basically the hands and feet of the nurse. That's what the nursing assistants do.
So with the ADLs, I think not everybody understands what ADLs mean, right? So with the ADLs, it definitely means activity of daily living. So that's brushing your teeth, that's taking a bath, that's helping you eat. So many different things that we, as nurses, need the nursing assistant to help us with, because we can't do it all, right? So those are some of the things that ADLs that we love our nursing assistants. I know for myself, where I work, when I was a bedside nurse, I needed my nursing assistants to help me do everything to get through my shift.
But not all hospitals have nursing assistants, though.
They sometimes have PCAs, which are called personal care attendants, which they hold the same titles, they do the same things that a CNA does, but some of them do a little bit more, because in the hospital, some of them will go ahead and they can draw blood under the direction of the nurse. Of course, they have to be certified in that, and there are other little things that they can do a little bit more than they would in a nursing home. Okay, so it all depends on the setting in terms of what they can and cannot do. So when we talk about LPNs, they're licensed practical nurses. They are nurses. So they go through a program, which can be like a 10-month program full-time or a little bit more if you're doing it part-time. And once they finish that program, they get a certificate which enables them to go sit for the NCLEX. The NCLEX is the National Council licensure that gives you that license that you hold as a nurse. And once they pass that, when we talk about the NCLEX, we say the board. You have to take the boards. So once you take the boards and you've passed the boards, that gives you an opportunity to now go work as a licensed practical nurse. For the registered nurse, there's a 2-year program and there's a 4-year program. Where they're not equal is that when you finish the 2-year program, you can go and take the NCLEX, the 4-year, same thing. But the 4-year affords you, not I. Oh, because I won, I have to start. Oh, yeah, that's true. So the 4-year gives you a little bit more education than the 2-year program because it gives you an opportunity in leadership, in management. So you go deeper into your education. And when you finished with a 4-year program, there are certain opportunities that may be open to you.
Okay, hold on. So once you're done with your bachelor's, you go to nursing school. So you're saying there's an option within the 2 year, there's a 2-year and there's a 4-year.
The bachelor's is the 4-year. The associate's degree is the 2-year one.
But after that, you go to nursing school.
No.
After the bachelor's.
So when you go to nursing school, you can either go for an associate's or a bachelor's. Because when you have that BSN, it's a bachelor's of science in nursing. When you have an ADN, it's an associate's degree in science in nursing.
I have a question for you guys. Why do you guys become a nurse? That's what is it?
Oh.
Because they're Haitians.
Because
There's no other.
That does play a role.
It's either engineering, a doctor, or a nursing, or what. So Haitians has.
Let them answer the question.
So that does play a role, right? So of course, being Haitian, the degrees that they look at are engineers, doctors, or nurses. But because growing up, my mother had, chronic illness, and I used to play the role of interpreting in the hospital. Right, so my love of medicine came early. I actually wanted to be a pediatrician, to be honest. Interesting. You probably never knew that.
No, I knew that because that's why we're so close. Because I wanted to be a pediatric surgeon.
I wanted to be a pediatrician, but then I was like, that's a lot of school, right? So I was like, that's maybe not for me. Even though I end up doing just as much schooling. So went into nursing.
Technically, they care more about babies than me.
So,
dying.
No, well, you know what's funny is my practice. I started off in pediatrics. But now I'm in, adult medicine at a pediatric hospital.
Because we die anyway. So.
Not too soon.
Not that soon.
So with, what Patricia said in terms of an associate's degree in nursing, I started off with an associate's degree.
Same.
After a 4-year degree with something else. So I started off, and the confusion that some people have is that you do have, after you sit for your boards, you are a registered nurse with the associate's degree, just as you are with the BSN, right? So you're a nurse and you can work in hospitals or community settings, or however. I started off in a hospital. I'm working there because I was already a nursing assistant there.
I think, how many do you have?
Wait.
Do you have 5?
You said you had an associate, but you became an RN.
Yes.
So somebody with a bachelor can still become an RN.
So it's the same thing. So you go to an associate's program, a 2-year program qualifies you to sit for the NCLEX. So I sat for the registered, the NCLEX, and became a registered nurse. When I continued on to a different, I went to Curry College to obtain my BSN. I didn't have to sit for an exam anymore because I already sat and I was already practicing as a nurse, a registered nurse.
Okay. All right, let me ask you the question. So, can you become a nurse with any degree, like business?
If you have a previous degree, yes, you can always go back to nursing.
You don't have to be any health.
No, because there is a path for people who have a previous bachelor's degree to get into nursing. Because when you have a bachelor's degree, there are certain core foundation classes that you take, like English, like chemistry, like math. When you're entering a nursing program, especially the registered nurses program, they want those foundation courses. So that would just mean if you had a previous bachelor's degree, you would then turn around and just use the core, the foundation classes that you had, and then be able be able to continue on with the nursing classes? Because for nursing, we still had to take microbiology.
Right.
We had to take A&P, English, psychology.
It seems like my question is still not answered yet.
What's the question?
My question was, why do you guys...
Why did I get into nursing?
Because I know some people,
So
go...
Nurse Cassie did answer you, so let me tell you why.
So I did. I think maybe I didn't elaborate, right? So I think, being that my mother had chronic illnesses and being in the hospital, I learned to understand that there was a need for a presence of individuals who speak a different language in medicine.
Okay.
I think there are so many things that our parents, our aunts, our uncles don't understand.
Okay.
There's something...
You wanted to be an advocate for the
definitely
Haitian.
a Haitian community,
Because-
and just not even just the Haitian community, but also little black girls, black and brown girls that look like me. When there's a difference when a person that looks like you comes into your room to take care of you. There's a sense of comfort. There's a sense of security.
So you guys doing it for love.
Yes.
But the reason why I said that, I know people, they say, I want to be a nurse because it's money. I can make money. But they don't really put their heart to what they're doing. They're just doing it just for the money.
And sometimes you can tell those people.
Yes.
You can tell those people the care that they give, how they talk to you, how they, stay later to help a family or to update a family. Because I know for myself, there's sometimes that my mother's in the hospital when I'm at work taking care of other people. So when I have a nurse that I can call and touch base with, and that nurse takes time to understand, to talk to me as the daughter of a patient, it means a lot. That person who takes the time.
So you had asked, I was 9 years old. Yes, your turn. I was 9 years old and my mother had a stroke. So when she had a stroke in the hospital, there was a nurse named Patricia that I saw taking care of her. And though I wanted to be a pediatric surgeon, I liked that nurse because out of everybody that took care of my mom, she was the only one who was personable. Like she would tell me,
It had nothing to do with the fact that she had the same name as you.
No. It didn't have to do with the fact that we had the same name. Because
that could be me.
She loved taking care of my mother, and she would tell me, don't just leave her here and don't speak to her. She's in a coma. Speak to her. Tell her you want her here. Tell her you want her to come back. And so that she can come back. You don't want your mom to go. So tell her everything that's in your heart. Yeah, it is your turn.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's my
then,
turn.
If it's my turn, it is what it is.
No, if you hold it. Why you trying?
You forcing me to go. There's no hesitation.
So I enjoyed that. But I didn't start off with a different degree. So I went again. Thank you. Thank you, fellas.
There's something about you.
How many times did you pass? Come on, I see.
A lot. But why you let the girl winning, bro?
Well, what's the problem? So I started
You have to. You gotta let them win.
I started off as a CNA. I went to do it because I wanted to see, could I do this? Could I care for someone? And that's one of the things, I don't know if you agree, that I would think that if somebody started off as a CNA, they might make a better nurse than somebody who never started off because they see the struggles. Having been a CNA, it helped me to be able to speak to the CNAs in a way that they understood and to have respect for their work and to treat them like human beings, because a lot of nurses treat CNAs like, oh, go watch this person. They could be in the room with the patient and then they send the CNA to go give the bedpan when they could have given the bedpan.
It's a different perspective when you are in that role, because I was also a clinical, in my hospital we call them clinical assistants. So I was a clinical assistant while I was in nursing school, and it was different. Because you understood more. You got to, you learned so much from the nurses that you're working with about being a nurse. Nurses who know that you're in nursing school, they will call you into rooms to come show you things.
Yes.
They will help you understand. If they see that you have questions about something, they don't think about it like you're bothering them, but that you're someone who wants to be in the field and wants to learn.
Yes.
So that's what, nurses and how they help student nurses without even knowing that they're helping student nurses.
I don't want to be sexist for what I'm gonna question that I'm gonna ask.
Absolutely, ask away.
Back in the day, back home when I was in Haiti, when they talk about nurse, like is it Miss or Mister? I always thought we always.
You always thought it was only females.
Yeah, only female. But when I came here in America, and I see it's only female, male doing it, and I kind of still feel uncomfortable.
It kind of throws you. It kind of throws you off. Yeah, and when it's like you're a nurse something, and they see a man walk in, and you're like,
man walking.
"What are you doing here, bro?"
But I'm going to say this: we need male nurses.
We do.
This is a pledge. If you want to be a nurse,
Why?
please go.
Why do you need more male nurses?
Because sometimes there are young boys that get hospitalized.
No, because if you
That
have a young
helps,
boy, if you have a young boy who gets hospitalized and he's
They may have a
uncomfortable
better
with
communication. Yeah. I see what you mean.
It's the same thing with
There's a better way. They communicate better with another male that way. They're not embarrassed.
Yeah. Certain things that they feel.
Yeah. All right.
My turn?
It's your turn. So one of the things that I really love about nursing, and I know a lot of people turn around and they look at it and they're thinking, oh, nursing, if you're a nurse, you can only work in the hospital, or you can only work in a nursing home. A lot of nurses think that they are limited to what they can do. But one of the things that I'm here to say is that as nurses, I think both of us have broken barriers where you also teach nursing students.
I do.
And you were one of my motivations to do so. So if you haven't guessed it, we know each other
For a very long time.
For a very long time, and we do feed off of each other. One of the reasons why I say we feed off of each other, when you went back to school to be a nurse practitioner, one of the things you encouraged me was go get your master's. So I'm currently in school getting my master's, though it's not a master's in nursing. But it is a master's that will afford me to move up. And one of the things we always talk about, the opportunities, you always say to me, don't just look at the bedside. Don't just look at a clinic, but look in other areas, look in other fields. So nursing affords you a view so that you can see that nursing is not limited to just the hospital or the nursing home, because you can work in a doctor's office. I understand there are even jobs for nurses in the NFL. There's a new role that I just found out that it was. It's a cannabis nurse.
Oh.
I was like, well, that medical marijuana, there are applications for medical marijuana.
Right.
Okay.
So as a cannabis nurse, you would be educating patients on what the medical marijuana is, whether or not it fits them, whether or not it's something that they should look into. Not only that, you would be helping them navigate that world.
I like the way you guys talk about the nursing and whatnot situation. You make it, you guys, like, it's kind of like
a sisterhood?
Exactly. It's a livelihood type of thing and stuff like that. Now, do you feel like it's a disrespect for the people who, let's say that scandal that broke out where they found out a lot of fake nurses, they didn't take the board and things like that and stuff like that. Now, do you feel like it's a disrespect, the fact that, like, somebody is out there, you know what she's not letting me sip for this. It's a disrespect for somebody who tried to, take a shortcut. You know what I mean? So just taking a shortcut, and also people's life, it affect people's life. You do not have the proper training, but you took the shortcut, and then somebody relying on you to take care of them, like taking the, because I've been to the hospital where somebody tried to take to take my blood pressure, not blood pressure, but taking my blood in IV, and then it's like they taking like 30 minutes, and then they go in and out, and I'm like, yo,
did you smoke? Did you?
No, but I'm like, do I need a second, a third, a fourth arm? Because it's just like they'll go to this arm, and then they go, it's like,
they might think you're losing some veins from.
But so let me just say something about that part, right? The losing the vein, because I myself, I'm a nurse practitioner. However, I don't know how to draw labs. And I don't know how to put IVs in. But that doesn't mean that I'm not capable. Sometimes your veins are small. Sometimes your veins roll. Sometimes you're not drinking enough water.
You're shooting too much.
I don't know about that part. But sometimes there are different things that you're doing. But to get to your question, I think that with this situation, with the scandal that happened where it happened, there's two parts. You touched two parts of it that are very important. When you are in the hospital, that is your most vulnerable time in the hospital. And you're relying on people who are licensed to take care of you. That is your most vulnerable moment, where you're in positions where 6-foot men are in the hospital because they're sick. People who are, children are in the hospital. So you never want somebody to be in the hospital and somebody taking care of you. That's not licensed. That's not.
That doesn't know what the hell they're doing.
That doesn't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
The school-wise, that is also, it's tough to swallow because I've done a lot of schooling.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm back in school. You're in school. And so we continue to climb the ladder, and to know that you navigate school, your personal life, your professional life, your family life, doing things that you like, and somebody else just kind of
trying to take the shortcut.
takes
Yes.
a shortcut.
Yeah.
And all the money that you're spending to go to school.
Oh my goodness. So I looked at that perspective as well. However, I have a different perspective of it, because when I found out a few things that I didn't know previously. And what I found out is that a lot of those people, it wasn't just that people were taking shortcuts. It was just, there are certain people that come from other countries. Like, let's say, you know how if someone comes from Haiti and they cannot, they can't take the board, or they can't do certain things because they don't speak English.
Finally.
So I find that you finally won.
So I have a question. Does this mean I could change it? What does this
No,
mean?
you have to play here.
You'd have to play here.
You would have
or-
played right here. So right now, if he had another one, you would have had
Yeah,
Dicabes.
you would have won. It
So you would have been on both sides. So
Because it would have
That
been
would
like
be
Oh,
Dicabes.
yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah, you would have won kind of like
Did
one
not
twice.
make no Dicabes. Okay, so so when I say that, I've looked at it from a different perspective, because I found out that some people who went and paid that money and took that shortcut, these people were people who were licensed in their country and couldn't make it here. They had the experience, and so they took the shortcut. Do I think the shortcut is wrong? Absolutely. Do I think it's immoral? Absolutely. It should have never been allowed to happen, because do you know how hard nursing school is?
But there should be some type of,
Repercussion?
there should be a test. Kind of like, let's say I'm in a different country, I was a doctor or whatnot, and then I come to this country. There should be a test.
There is.
Then why is people thinking that, like,
Where are the
It's hard.
loopholes?
It's hard.
I think based on
But
that,
everything is there. But the thing is that,
All-
let's say, for example, if you had gotten, you see how hard you work for your nursing degree and whatnot and stuff like that, you do not take that for granted. Now, let's say that was given to you for free. You would have had a different respect for that.
Here's the thing. We go by a code of ethics. We go by certain morals
And
that most
standards.
people do not. We have standards. There are some people who just want to get there by any means necessary.
But that goes back to the question I asked before. Those people, they're willing to take the
Do
risk. 'Cause
anything.
It's a risk. So-
risk. It is.
Oh, they can
But
look at
here's
what
the
what
thing.
happened. They got caught. People go to jail. But willing to take the case, not because they're doing it for love. Not because they're doing it for love, they're doing it for the money. Oh, I can do a shortcut and get the license, and I can make quick
But
money.
it's a shortcut in a way of getting licensed, but it's also expensive. Some of these
It
people
is.
have shelled out a lot of money.
Like, they
10
paid
grand?
No, I've heard people who
$35,000, $50,000 cash.
They have to pay cash because there can't be a paper trail.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
People have paid cash.
Here's the thing with everything that we're talking about. I understand when they say
start
that
'cause you won.
as a nurse you're making money, right? There's money to be made. However, there are mistakes that are also made in making that money.
Well, that's
The
when
state-
you're money hungry. You're not thinking about the patients.
No, not even that. The state rules state that you can only work 2 shifts back to back, meaning 16 hours. Because afterwards you need to rest. But I know some nurses who finish working that 16 hours, they leave a little early so that they could head to another job. So now they've worked 24
Now you just open
hours.
something for me so I can sue someplace.
So because of that, you haven't slept.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten. You haven't reset, because you need a reset. Because I know I've had some days at work where I'm kind of like, I can't wait for 4 o'clock to go home to get away from all of this.
Right. To check
so
out.
that I can recharge. because we want to check out. There's also something called nursing alarm fatigue.
Yes.
Where there are some nurses in the hospital working, and there's an alarm going off.
But
it
you
could
don't
be
hear
an
it.
alarm, but you hear nothing.
Because you become immune to it.
Okay, I was watching a movie and I saw they had like beds and stuff like that for the nurses and doctors and whatnot.
Just
If you
a
work
movie.
a certain,
Well, no,
you
no,
shut
no.
your face.
So
Some
let
movies
me
have
tell
some
let
stuff
me-
that are true.
That's true.
Let me tell you about that.
But-
They do, because I used to work for this company, and when I worked for that company, because there was a snowstorm pending, they had beds for us to come in and to sleep
Delta.
that night in order to get up in the morning so that we weren't calling out. So yes, there are beds for you to go and rest. That is if you're working another shift and there's a storm pending.
But also they have it for the doctors.
Yes.
You're saying they do have suites for the doctors to sleep.
Just my last question, because I don't. That thing is burning inside of me.
Go ahead, ask us. Burning
Do you
questions.
guys can have
I
your?
can see all your numbers, by the way.
I love it.
Do you
You're
guys
looking
can,
directly at his domino, so of course you can see it. He's holding it. She's
He
like,
had it like this though. He had it like this.
can you guys have your private practice, the nurses?
Well, you can and you can't. As a nurse practitioner, Nurse Cassie can.
In
For
the state of
myself,
Massachusetts,
in the state
I
of
can
Massachusetts, she
operate
can.
solely under my practice.
For myself, like let's say there are business ventures that I could open. Like
What,
I
last
see,
year?
that's your
yours.
turn.
Nice.
I see some people have hydration bars. I could
Med spas.
work. Yep, I could work with a nurse practitioner who has a med spa and work under her license to be able to operate that way. One of the ways that nurses work as independent contractors is that they would turn around and it's your turn or mine? How many do you have? You have 6 or you have
turn.
5? Oh, that's my turn. So how they work as independent contractors is that they would go and work for an agency as a per diem nurse, so that they're working for that agency on an as needed basis and go work wherever they'd like to
putting
work.
down.
That's why I'm going to
sharing,
pass
right?
you.
We're
I'm
sharing.
going to try to pass you.
So that's how definitely you can, and you can make your money that way. You can make your money that way. And when you talk about the money, it's how you apply yourself in your network. Like Nurse Cassie's my network. If she says to me, "Hey, such and such a place is looking for nurses," or they're looking for an instructor, or they're looking, for somebody to administer COVID shots or whatever it is.
Right.
We can definitely work together on that. So tonight, this was the hot topic, nursing education. We are going to take a short break and we will be back because there's a lot more to unpack. So thank you for watching with us. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe. Also, if you like this, go back and view our other videos because we have videos on everything under the sun. Politics, real estate, mental health, you name it. So stay tuned. We will be back. Thank you so much for joining us. See you shortly.